Hey friends, what is going on? Lee Sanders here, and if it's Thursday and I'm here, that means only one thing. We're here talking about WoW Women of Wrestling, Lost Episode Fallout. Here we are for Thursday of March 3rd, 2022, and we're talking about Women of Wrestling, Lost Episode number 26. Can you guys believe it? Only a handful of episodes to go. And that pretty much is going to be it for us for at least a couple of months until Women of Wrestling comes back with a new season, which is going to be going down this fall. But if you've been keeping tabs, you've been with me these past couple of weeks that we've been back this go round with this return of talking about Women of Wrestling Fallout. We have been tackling basically a total of 32 episodes of WoW. And these lost episodes had began a couple of weeks ago with episode 21. And we've pretty much just been rolling through these bad boys. So we've got what we're doing right now. And then we have episode 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 6 more lost episodes that we'll be talking about. And then that's going to be it until the fall. I really hope that you guys have been making it be your business to check out Women of Wrestling, as you can watch this promotion and all these talented women for free. You can watch it via Pluto TV, or you can watch it via the CW app. You don't need no credit card information. All you need is your respected desktop or your favorite tablet device. Doesn't matter if it's on Android or iOS. You'll be able to get the hookup within seconds so that you can check out on any episode and all episodes of Women of Wrestling. So, hey man, this was a pop-in episode this week for episode 26, as we got to see the continuation of some key story arcs that really was dominating the last 3 episodes. Definitely the Psycho Sisters and everything that's been involving them as they're trying to run roughshod. They're trying to reign supreme in the women's tag division to the point they want to become tag team champions. Let's not also forget Amber O'Neal, Jesse Jones having that breakdown there in their tag team, Grits and Glam, as Amber O'Neal has reached a point in her career and her life once again where she's at a crossroads and she's not really sure what is going on with her, but she is trying to do some soul searching. Let's not also forget we've got Tessa Blanchard trying to do everything in her power to get back on top as the WoW Women's World Champion. And remember, we got a little bit of backstabbing that was going on here in the form of Sophia Lopez, as Tessa Blanchard felt that she and Sophia had a deal that was in place. And as we've seen these past few episodes, especially these lost episodes, we've seen a significant communication and breakdown. At least that's what Tessa Blanchard is thinking. But Sophia Lopez is just steps ahead. So this episode had kicked off with Tessa Blanchard trying to follow up from the previous episode with Sophia Lopez. And Sophia pretty much tells her straight up, hey, you really need to do a better job in reading the fine print and everything. And Tessa pretty much tells her straight up, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm done with your games. I'm done with your shenanigans. You're fired. Seriously, I am done with you messing with my personal affairs. And she pretty much walks out on Sophia Lopez. Sophia just pretty much laughs that off. And she's like, you done with me? No, 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 no. I make the rules, basically, is what Sophia Lopez was saying. And we actually follow up with Sophia Lopez, the greatest attorney in the world, the greatest lawyer in the world. We follow up with her a few segments later where she's walking backstage with Serpentine, aka Thunder Rosa. And she says to Serpentine, actually, they're both making fun of Tessa, as Sophia is the lead dog in the conversation, saying Tessa has a long way to go if she truly wants to master playing the game. And she pretty much says to Serpentine, wait till she really learns what's in the cards here and everything. And you saw a little bit of a hint of that in regards to the main event match for this particular episode, as our main event match was supposed to feature the Beast taking on Jungle Girl for the WoW Women's World Championship. Remember, Jungle Girl had earned the right a couple of weeks back, and she pretty much made sure she accomplished that by any means necessary. But that main event match would not happen. The main event match would not happen because Jungle Girl was nowhere to be found. As we got to our match right before the main event match, David McLean and crew, they had got a note passed along to them by a member of the production team that let them know, hey, Jungle Girl, she's nowhere to be found. They've been trying to look for her for pretty much this past hour. She's nowhere to be found. We're not able to establish communications with her. So as a result of that, that main event match, it's not going to be happening. Instead, this is what we got. We're going to go with Tessa Blanchard taking on Reina Reyes. That was the main event match for tonight. So when you hear that and leave it to David McLean to already, that's the one thing that I love about Women of Wrestling is that David McLean and crew, they do not try to insult the fans' intelligence, particularly the fans watching from home. They don't try to insult their intelligence. They pretty much will give you the breadcrumbs, but also as far as the storylines go, they'll feed you a little bit of breadcrumbs, but at the same time, they will also just flat out, okay, surely, bam, this is what's going down. And a good example of that is David McLean immediately after he gets the information passed along to him from the production team. He goes, I can't help but wonder, as I'm sure the fans are probably wondering as well, and I bet you they're right, as I agree with the fans, how much you want to bet Sophia Lopez had something to do with Jungle Girl not being able to make it to this main event match tonight. And instead, we got Jungle Girl taking on Reina Reyes. And this match particularly had some huge implications because whoever would come out of this, one could make the argument that they would be one step closer to being in a position where they could be the number one contender to take on to take on the Beast, rather, to take on the Beast for the championship. Hopefully, I had mentioned it correctly earlier, as the main event match originally tonight for this respected episode, it was supposed to be the Beast defending the championship against Jungle Girl. Hopefully, I had said that correct earlier. If I did not, I apologize in advance. But I'm going off the top of my mind here. I got a couple of notes, but as you can see, as I'm mainly looking directly into the webcam here, everything is just pretty much up here and everything. So, yeah, interesting development that you got going on there, and I'm most curious to know if what Sophia Lopez, I mean, is it safe to say that Sophia Lopez, without spoiling it, I mean, I have to ask you guys, because hopefully we're all going on this journey together and we're all at about around the same episode here of what we're watching currently with WoW, these lost episodes. But it feels as though Sophia Lopez did have a hand in this, and that to a degree she is trying to do right by Tessa Blanchard, although Tessa Blanchard doesn't really see that, because the way Tessa's trying to play the game, it's pretty much instant gratification. Give me what I want. Give me what I want right now. Whereas Sophia Lopez, the way that she's trying to play the game, she is trying to do it from a strategic standpoint, inch by inch, step by step, rather than just bam, give me what I want. So that's an interesting story arc that's developing right there. Whether or not Tessa Blanchard is realizing this remains to be seen. But one thing is for certain, she is on that borderline of making significant enemies out of Sophia Lopez and Serpentine. Serpentine, damn sure, is not feeling what's going on with Tessa Blanchard right now. And you just can't help but wonder how much longer Serpentine is going to be chilling in the background here, trying to be peacemaker. And okay, look, whatever you got going on with Tessa, let's go ahead, let's do this. But at the same time, I got to eat too. I got to get mine. It kind of feels as though Tessa and Serpentine are going to come to a head at some point. Could it be a situation where Tessa ultimately puts Sophia in a position where it's, hey, look, you either are riding with me, I'm going to be your ride or die client, or we're just done, and If I happen to cross paths with you and whoever you're representing, sorry about their damn luck. But you just feel that there's going to be all these combustible elements in these personalities that it is going to come to a head at some point. Very curious to see how this is going to pan out. Our first matchup on the card for this Women of Wrestling episode 26, we got to see the lovely Sassy Massey taking on Fury, otherwise known as Harlow O'Hara. And this was a pretty good opener. Now, remember, Fury there, who's a member of the Psycho Sisters, so Mesmeriah was there, Razor was there, and as far as in Sassy Massey's corner, she did have Chantilly Cella that was there, but this was all about the numbers game, honestly, as Psycho Sisters and Razor and Mesmeriah, they took advantage of distracting the referee so they could get in cheap shots in there on Sassy Massey. Chantella, she tried her best. She tried, but that numbers game was just too much because Chantilly Chella, she's just one person, and you're talking about two other people that you basically have to try and negate. And she just, at the end, wasn't able to really balance out the odds. Add that on top of the fact that the other thing I loved most about this opener match was the power display that was on hand for Fury. It's been a bit seldom that we've seen Fury in singles action. We've mainly seen some type of tag team combination, a trios tag team combination. Very seldom have we got Fury in a position where she's wrestling one on one. So to see her get the spotlight in singles competition on this episode was a welcome breath of fresh air. I tell you what, but it was nice seeing her sheer display of power. That girl ain't nothing to be messing around with. I tell you what. And for those of you that may be a little bit curious about what's going on there with Fury, she has been active, but not really like that, to be perfectly honest with you. It was kind of interesting because some of these women who I was looking up, just to see what they've been up to, a lot of it depends. Some they haven't done anything in a couple of years. Others are still going at it quite actively. And in the case of Harlow O'Hara, aka Fury of the Psycho Sisters, she's actually still been going at it. She's been on a bit of a break for almost 6 months now, but she was doing some work all in 2021, despite the whole pandemic thing that was going on. She was definitely at it. Most recently, she participated in the Shine 69 pay per view event out there in Florida, where she teamed up with Viperous, to otherwise known as the Coven. You guys may know of that team. They had defeated Alex Sky and Micah Midrid. That was at Shine 69. And this match that I just mentioned, this had went down October of last year. There's a lot of matches that she did for various promotions in 2021. She also worked the FU, the Final Phase TV show out in Illinois. She did what else? She did a Shine 67 event. She also did a SHW event. She did participate in the, let me look here, Shine 66 pay-per-view event. She also did the Ladies Night Out 10 Midnight in Tampa event, where Holodead and Genocide teamed up to face her and Viperous. So she's been active, but nothing since October of last year there. So she's almost creeping up on 6 months since she was last active and everything. She is very talented as a makeup artist. So maybe she's been, who knows, but that's definitely somebody I hope that in regards to 2022, that's definitely somebody I hope that we're going to be seeing back out there on the free agency market on a regular basis. She's got a great look as far as I'm concerned. And right down to the point, I got to be honest with you guys. I know that since we've been covering these lost episodes, we have seen just a nice of newcomers. We've seen the members in Exile. We've seen Venomous. We've seen Callie Ray. We've seen the Dixie Darlings. And so, this great incoming of new wild women and everything, it's great to a certain degree. But when I look at a woman, for example, of the status of Venomous, I just can't help but still feel that my verdict is still a little bit out on her. But there are so many elements, not from a physical standpoint, but just, well, no, slightly from a physical standpoint, slightly. Out of 100%, I would say maybe about 20%. But there's so much mannerisms, way that Venomous carries herself and everything in this WoW universe that reminds me so much of Harlow O'Hara, aka Fury. I just can't help but go, man, shouldn't it actually be Fury that maybe is in a position where she's trying to get a hold of Beast or Serpentine or insert. I mean, let me know what you guys think about that, or if Wild Wind of Wrestling, David McClain and crew, if they're actually doing this right. But yeah, that's just kind of where I was. That's just kind of how I'm feeling in regards to that. But sound off, let me know. I'm most curious what you guys have to say in regards to that. Post match, we had the Psycho Sisters cutting a promo, and they pretty much said, hey, we are going to continue to wreak havoc, and we are going to bring the ruckus, basically, until they become the new tag team champions. That's what it's all about for them right now. From there, we got a nice video package of one Callie Ray, who we were just referencing earlier. I believe for the very first time we mentioned her, if not on last week's WoW recap and reaction show, we definitely covered her the episode before. So if we didn't talk about her in episode 25, for sure we talked about her on episode 24. And this go round, we got a nice video package pretty much explaining a little bit more about Callie Ray, what she's all about, what she likes doing for fun, uh, how she likes to, get on the surfboard, and she likes doing serious hang time. She likes hanging out at the beach and all kinds of, nice, fun stuff. So you hear that, you just go, oh man, how can you not like a girl like Callie Young, aka Callie Ray? Hey, she's pretty badass. Okay, all right, that's what's up. And I think we mentioned her before as far as, hey, she's been at it not that long. We talked a great deal about how she mainly has been doing work in OVW. Her entire wrestling career so far for the 26-year-old, it just screams OVW dark, but she has not done anything since 2020. So for those of you that are looking at her particularly, if you've been checking out these lost episodes and you're going, ooh, I would pump the brakes a little bit, and your guess is as good as mine as far as, maybe we'll see her this fall for Women of Wrestling. I don't know, guys. We're talking about 2 years. A lot can happen in 2 years for an individual. Maybe they just decided, hey, you know what, in regards to the world of wrestling, you know what, I'm actually good. I'm just going to make the transition into doing something else. Or, yeah, actually, I prefer to actually do stuff behind the scenes. So your guess is as good as mine. What I personally like to see more of this character, yeah, in the WoW universe, yeah, there's definitely some aspects I could see her with Chantilly Chella and Sassy Massey. I think that would be an interesting trio of a tag team, to be perfectly honest with you. I could definitely see them. Or you could put a girl like Callie Ray with the Bully Busters. I could definitely see, because Callie Ray just screams babyface. I see no type of heel mannerisms. She is just a pure straight up babyface as far as I'm concerned. But from the moment that she got involved in the world of professional wrestling, which was going back to about 2017, she pretty much was active, very active from 2017, 2018, 2019, even in 2020, she was active, but it's been 2 years. Again, I'll put it on you guys because I know some of you all that are big supporters of women's wrestling. Sometimes you guys give me information and say, no, actually, blah, blah, blah. So if something different is going on that hasn't been reported involving Callie Young, aka Callie Ray, definitely sound off and let me know so that we can all make sure that we're updated here. But we were going on and on and on about Callie Ray because she had a match that was coming up against the disciplinarian. And, this one, for what it was worth, it was okay. Honestly, Kylie Ray showed, as far as I'm concerned, that she's still very green in the ring. She didn't do any botches. There was nothing sloppiness that was going on. You could just tell that she still is a bit inexperienced, and mainly it was disciplinarian that was pretty much leading the way here. And I really like the way that disciplinarian was able to pretty much take charge and look. You also got to give a lot of props to the referee because here's also a case right here where if you have a referee that is somewhat of a veteran, he has a few more years experience of what all is supposed to go down in the ring as opposed to a relatively newcomer. When you have that combined with a somewhat veteran wrestler, you got the perfect ingredients of, okay, you know what, we're actually gonna make this look pretty good and you're actually gonna come out of this okay. I like the way that this match was pretty much designed, where you had Callie Ray from the moment that she's coming out there, and she's pretty much doing the wave. I like that. So you already got the fans invested in, oh, okay, when I see this person, it's time to do the wave. It's time to go, whoa, 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 right? So I like that type of interaction with the fan base that she has going on there. And when I really stop and think about it, other than Chantilly Chella and Sassy Massey, I'm just thinking about overall what I've been seeing in WoW so far. I could even put Faith the Lioness, aka Nikkita Lyons, in the same conversation, but I will jump out there and say that Callie Ray, from what I've seen in WoW so far, is one of a few women in the promotion thus far with all these episodes that really tries to engage the fans. Whereas everybody else, they're just pretty much coming out there. They're letting it really be about their personality with their vignettes, pre produced stuff, say a little something in the ring, but pretty much it's all about the action in the ring. Not so much interacting with the fan base, if you will. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. Some of you may agree within reason to what I'm saying there. Some of you guys may totally disagree with that, but that's just where I'm coming from in regards to that. But I like the fact that we were really healing it up here with Disciplinarian and Samantha Smart, as Samantha Smart at ringside, trying to do her little shenanigans at ringside while the referee was distracted, trying to do everything she could to help out her girl and Disciplinarian. And man, when it was all said and done, did it backfire in a significant way towards the end of this match? Because let me tell you something. Let me holler at you for a minute. Closing moments of this matchup, while the referee wasn't paying attention, Samantha Smart outside the ring decided she was going to take her trademark ruler stick and, okay, I'm going to just on the back of Callie Ray. Well, that backfired, as pretty much coming from off the ropes, you're thinking Callie Ray is going to go into the ropes where Samantha Smart is ready to just but Callie Ray pretty much countered by Irish whipping Disciplinarian into the ropes on that side where Samantha Smart was, and Kakak and inadvertently Samantha Smart hits her tag partner, hits her girl, then hits her girl there and disciplinarian, and that pretty much had set up Callie Ray to take advantage of a somewhat wounded disciplinarian by connecting with a wheelbarrow stunner to pretty much get the 1, 2, 3, and that was all she wrote. So Callie Ray picking up her first dub in WoW Women of Wrestling. She wasn't able to celebrate the victory that long, however, as she immediately got jumped by Disciplinarian. Why Disciplinarian is getting pulled off of Samantha Smart? I mean, as we've seen these past several episodes, Disciplinarian has a hot temper, and Samantha Smart has tried to work with Disciplinarian and ironing out the kinks, trying not to be so hot headed and everything. But here's a case right here where, no, Samantha Smart, you messed up. You pretty much were trying to set it up real nice and sneaky there for your girl and Disciplinarian, and yet it backfired. No, you should be right there with Disciplinarian, both stomping a mud hole, and Callie Ray. What the heck? I like where this is going. I kind of feel as though this is not done just yet between these necessary parties. It's going to be interesting to see what comes about as far as who Callie Ray may end up getting as a tag team partner to try to balance things out between Disciplinary and Samantha Smart. Because as long as it's two against one, yeah, Callie Ray may pick up a win here and there, but it's pretty much going to be a situation where for every 5 matches, maybe Callie Ray wins one, maybe one, whereas you get yourself a tag partner. You feel where I'm coming from? Speaking of tag team partners, I was a little bit concerned where we were going with a particular segment between Grits and Glam, Jesse Jones, and Amber O'Neal. As you're saying, wait a minute, Amber O'Neal was pretty hot headed. She had some pretty mean things to say, and how she handled the ultimate breakup of Grits and Glam from the previous episode. Like, well, where are we going with this? And I was a little bit concerned because I just felt as though, wait a minute, I know I'm watching a lost episode, but is this something that maybe we really shouldn't be seeing? That was kind of playing itself out, and maybe what's going on here. So I was really, really concerned, but after a few seconds of feeling a little bit lost, a little bit confused here, they pretty much brought it back home. So basically, you're led to the impression that Jesse Jones went to seek out Amber O'Neal and basically, girl, what's going on? Talk to me. Seriously, talk to me. You know, what you did out there, that was in the ring and all that, showboating and all that good stuff. But okay, we're behind closed doors now. It's just you and me. Ain't no cameras. What's really going on here? And Amber O'Neal pretty much told Jesse, hey, seeing Chrissy Vane, it just brought back so many memories. I am just a mixed bag of emotions right now. And at the same time, also feeling very lost. And Jessie, she's like, hey, I understand that. I know exactly where you're coming from. And it's obvious that within recent weeks, as far as us tagging, it's just not working to the point. Even those damn twins got one over on us. And Amber agrees. She says, yeah, us being a tag team, that whole Grits and Glam, it was fun, but the timing, it couldn't have been better when we did team up. But it's obvious that it's pretty much run its course and everything. And hey, I definitely was pretty hurt in the ring back there, but you're absolutely right. I agree, we need to kind of put this on ice for a little bit. Got some work. She admitted that she's got some work that she needs to do on herself. Next thing you know, there is a knock on the door. And who's on the other side of that door? It's none other than Faith the Lioness, aka Nikkita Lyons. And what did we talk about on the previous episode of WoW Women of Wrestling, on our reaction edition review episode. I said, hey, you got it right there on a silver platter as far as Faith the Lioness reaching out to Amber. Hey, look, obviously, you've got a common enemy. We both have a common enemy. We both have been burned so badly by oh my god, I'm already drawing a Lana Star, right? We've been hurt very badly by Lana Star and how she has just kicked us and other women to the curve. Why not team up and let's really stick it to her? So she says, Faith the Lioness, aka Nikkita Lyons, she says to Jesse Jones, hey, could I borrow Amber for a little bit? I got to rap to her. And Jesse pretty much says, she kind of has an idea where this is going. She just pretty much goes, she's all yours, honey. And she just rolls out. We see Jesse Jones return later on, and she's trying to find out what's going on. Faith pretty much says to Amber, think about what I said. Holler at you later. Jesse's going, what the heck was that all about? Amber says, well, Faith is actually very interested in teaming up. And you just see Amber nodding her head, and Jesse just does not like what she's hearing. She's just looking pretty dumbfounded there. That's kind of one of those. Look, Jesse Jones is going to be just fine. Personally, let her go back to being a singles girl and doing what she does best with the promos, whooping women's asses in that ring. Let her go back doing what she does best, quite honestly. And I think that's exactly how things are probably going to play itself out, hopefully for the remainder of these episodes. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. From there, we had our third matchup of the evening, which was actually one of my personal favorites besides the main event match, which was spectacular. But this third match, Serpentine, a.k.a. Thunder Rosa, taking on Chantilly Chella. Man, this was a great back and forth as far as pretty hard hitting, technical, telling a really good story in that ring. Serpentine and Chantilly Chella, they did phenomenal in this. They really, really did. I love the fact that, it's interesting too, because in regards to Chantilly Chella, I wasn't always a fan of hers. And it just seems as though the deeper you go into continuing to watch the journey of certain characters in this WoW universe, particularly Chantilly Chella, the more you just really sit back and you just watch her in action and everything, the more you realize, wow, she's actually a pretty damn good wrestler. And to the point, I gotta say, I know I pretty much was telling you guys off and on when we were doing our WoW recaps in the past. I said, yo, Faith the Lioness, you gotta watch her. Jesse Jones, you gotta watch her. Beast, you gotta watch her. And I also was saying Tessa Blanchard, long before Tessa Blanchard pretty much had became a household name. Everybody was talking about her. I was putting over Tessa Blanchard like a mofo. At a time when a lot of people felt that, that's just somebody that people are just overhyping. And then once they started seeing her with their own two eyes, oh yeah, she's definitely pretty freaking badass. But in regards to Chantilly Chella, I gotta say I'm a little bit surprised that she really hasn't been. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? That we really haven't seen her involved with the AEWs or the Ring of Honors. Ray Lynn is another name that she goes under for you guys. You might know her better under that name. But yeah, she's 33 years of age. She pretty much, and she's been active, believe it or not. She actually has done a couple of matches in 2022 already. Just in February alone, she did some work at the MCW Winter Blast event for the MCW women's title. She had faced Gia Scott, where she became the new champion. That was out in Glen Burnie, Maryland. So she's been doing some work for them for these past couple of months. She was very active all in 2021. If she mainly wasn't doing work for MCW, she was also doing work for the MPW Silver Bells promotion slash event there. She also was doing work for MAW with their Grand Slam event. She even did some work for Shine, so she's been a little bit everywhere, even for the Pale Pro wrestling event. So she's been very active, especially in 2021 alone. I know that right down to the point, there was actually one match that she had against Diana Perrazzo, if I remember correctly, sometime in 2021, I believe it was. So she has been very, very active. Some people see what may lose a lot of people in regards to Ray Lynn, aka Chantilly Chella, is the gimmick. A lot of people may just not like that whole coming out disco music, but you got to get past that. Once you get past that and you put her in a position where she's in a really good singles match with a really good dance partner, like what had came about on this particular episode, you're going, wow, hey, this girl, she just might be able to. Right, I'm looking at her, and I actually came away from this match that she had against Serpentine having newfound respect and appreciation for her, to the point I'm going, okay, you know what? I might have been on the fence about you. I might have not really been feeling your whole gimmick and everything. And I still feel that within reason, the gimmick does need a little bit of tweaking, because I would like for the promos to develop. And there's no telling where she is now as far as her promo game, because her promo game and wow, it's pretty average. Okay, so I wouldn't blame people that's been watching this promotion and they're but when you see what went down between her and Serpentine, and see, that's also, you're only as good as your tag partner. We also need to give those flowers there to Serpentine, aka Thunder Rosa, because she really, that's the thing with Thunder Rosa, man. Whoever she works with, she just has a way of taking them up to that next level, quite honestly, and making them look really, really freaking good here, man. And this was definitely a pretty good matchup. If there was any match, I would say go out of your way and check out from these Wow Lost episodes. I would definitely say go out of your way and seek this one out, and you'll definitely thank me later. Now then, as far as who won this matchup, Serpentine came out, and it makes all the sense. The right person, I personally feel, won in this one, because Serpentine, the way that they've had this set up, particularly with these lost episodes, is Serpentine is pretty much right there. When you're thinking about that next number one contender, when you're thinking about possibly that next WoW Women's Champion, her name, and so as far as I'm concerned, the right person had went over in this one. Main event match. Tessa Blanchard, the Born Legend, taking on Reina Reyes. And you all know that Reina Reyes, she's very active in the wrestling game, very active. I love this matchup. Remember, the last time that these girls had faced each other in a one-on-one matchup, you had to rewind it back to, I believe, episode 13 of WoW Women of Wrestling, back when Tessa Blanchard was the champion. That's how far back you had to go. And that was a bona fide one-on-one matchup. So to pretty much see Tessa Blanchard, Reina Reyes part 2 go down, yeah, you know what? And I actually went back and I checked out that episode 13 just to refresh my memory and everything. And just, that was an instant classic. This one, I felt, to each its own, but for me personally, I enjoyed this one more so than their first encounter. And I tell you what, man, both of these girls, this was just like watching poetry in motion. This was one of those, wait, she is taking on, and when you just, wait a minute, Lance Storm had trained Reyes, and you just hear everybody that's had a hand. And if you've been fortunate enough to check her out in other promotions, she's another one. She's another one that you say, man, isn't it weird that we haven't seen Reina Reyes do more work for, the big main promotions, basically? Isn't it kind of weird that we haven't seen her do stuff in AEW, or we haven't seen her do stuff for NXT/WWE, or hell, maybe even New Japan, basically? And before anybody asks, 'cause I know some of you guys may be a little bit curious if she's been doing anything match wise. She's been pretty active for the most part from what I'm seeing here. If you guys can actually bear with me a second here, I just wanna confirm what I've seen of her thus far. Yeah, she's been pretty active because according to the notes that I had took, she actually recently did something for Impact Wrestling, believe it or not. She did something for Impact Wrestling TV taping for a event out in Louisiana at the beginning of February, where she's now going under the name Giselle Shaw. I repeat, she's now going under the name Giselle Shaw. And she's been doing some work for Impact Wrestling recently, as she first began doing stuff for them January of this year, as a matter of fact, January 2022, where first up on an episode of Impact, she defeated Lady Frost. And so, for you guys that, now some of you guys may say, yeah, but Impact is on a much smaller scale. It's still TV exposure, it's still national TV exposure within reason. But that's what she's been doing to kick off 2022. She also did some work for Progress Wrestling, where she recently retained her women's championship, or Progress Women's Championship, over Rio out in England, UK. Out in England, UK. Before that, she pretty much all in 2021, very active, doing a lot of work for Progress, doing stuff for Rev Pro, also for Wrestle Carnival, ROH, Carnival of Horror. Uh, See a lot of Rev Pro that's in here that's been taking up mostly of her year in 2021, and some Progress as well. So, I mean, that's great. That is great for her. Honestly, she is badass. I gotta say, she is fucking badass. She is one of those type of women, you're looking at, you go, wow, she's got beautiful skin. She's got a great look. She's got a great face. She's got a nice smile. I really love her personality. It could be flushed out just a tiny bit more, I personally feel. And again, there's no telling where she is now, because when we're looking at these episodes, the main thing that we have to keep in mind is that, it's been a couple of years. So she may have very well picked up some new tricks of the trade there in character development. I'll tell you what, now that I know personally that she recently has been doing some stuff for Impact, I'm definitely going to go and see how it is. And definitely when we talk about the next episode of WoW and it comes to bringing her up again, I'll definitely revisit what I'm mentioning right now and let you guys know how I think she's doing, as far as being in the Impact universe and everything. But yeah, these two girls, they had put on a fantastic match. It did justice from their first encounter for the WoW Women's Championship, I would have to say. I got to give love, by the way, to the great team of David McLean and Stephen Dickey. They have just, I love, they're starting to find their groove big time as a commentating team, and I've been loving it. I love just how they play off of each other. They're finding the right little sweet spots to say a little something something, showing love to New Japan in this one. I had loved hearing particularly because David McLean, he said, I was first introduced to New Japan 4 years ago, and I've been a fan of it ever since. And I love it. I love what they do over there in New Japan. And Dickie is just playing off of him, and right, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's almost kind of like you're hearing a basketball team within reason, and they just get to a point where they're doing a little bit of horseplay or whatever. It's almost, for you NBA fans, it's kind of makes sense that we talk NBA too, because after all, Jeannie Buss, what she's doing with WoW, she's pretty much co-owner of WoW and all that. It's almost as if when you're watching an ABC basketball game, the NBA on a Sunday, and you got Mike Breen, and you've got Van Gundy, Stan Van Gundy, and you've got I can't think of the brother right now. I can't think of his name, but it's almost like when you're hearing them doing the horse playing, and Mike Breen kind of brings them in a little bit, right? So, but in this case, Dickey and McLean, they catch themselves before they get too long-winded with whatever little horse playing, they're mentioning and all that. They play very well off of each other. Hopefully that combination will still remain intact when things come about with the new fall premiere of Women of Wrestling. We'll have to wait and see. Tessa Blanchard winning with her trademark DDT finisher. I mean, oof. I mean, she put some freaking stank on that bad boy, the way she laid out Reina Reyes here. So Tessa Blanchard picking up a singles victory, getting herself possibly one step closer to being next up to face whoever the WoW Women's Champion is going to be. We still have to keep in the back of our minds, Jungle Girl is still at play. What happened with Jungle Girl? I'm very, very curious what happened with Jungle Girl. I wouldn't be surprised if Sophia Lopez maybe pull some strings. Is it even possible that maybe she worked out some type of a deal with, let's say, Venomous? And, maybe said to Venomous, look, I've been watching you, because Sophia Lopez is always about the recruiting, is she not? She's always trying to recruit. She's always looking for that next client. She's always looking for that next meal ticket. She's always looking for that next big payday. Is it even possible that behind the scenes, she's been watching in the shadows, and she's been paying very close attention to maybe the work of one Venomous, and maybe approached Venomous and said, hey, look, you want to get a shot at the championship? You know what? I think I can help you out with that. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Do me a favor. Let's take out Jungle Girl. We got Jungle Girl that, take her out, and, maybe we can see about getting you in a really good position where, right? So, but then it still brings up the question, what happened with Jungle Girl? Nobody's been able to touch base with her and all of that. That's a mystery that I find very intriguing, that's going to obviously unravel in these next couple episodes, but I feel that we're going to know more immediately when it comes to the very next episode, which is going to be episode 27. But just some ideas out there. But all in all, this was really a solid episode. You notice that we didn't talk any tag team action on this episode. This was one of those episodes this go round, which was refreshing, honestly, where it was just all about straight up singles action. Because remember, the last episode, it was all about, we did have a championship. Yeah, what was it? The Champions Edition, right? But then there was a tag team edition episode from, what was it, 2 weeks ago that we were here talking about and everything. So it's nice to see everything get back to basic, and it's just, okay, let's talk about some singles action that's going on here. But yeah, pretty well-rounded episode overall for Women of Wrestling episode 26. I would have to say, a little bit surprised, all things considered, I'm a little bit surprised we didn't get an appearance by Exile. I will say that. I'm a little bit surprised at that, because Malaya Hosaka has been leading her girls there in Genesis And my God, who's the other one? Genesis. Her name will come to me in a little bit, but Exile, and no, Exile is the stable. Genesis. Oh God, I'm trying to think the name. But my point, Malaya Hosaka, she's been in this position where she's been, hey, we will not be denied. We want attention. Exodus, Genesis, and Exodus. That's who it is. Right? I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't try to run roughshod, all things considered. Right down to the point, I think about that whole epic brawl that came about a couple of weeks ago between the Psycho Sisters, Princess Austie, the Voodoo Siren, Holiday. I think about that as well. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't get some type of a continuation from that, all things considered, especially given the fact that, okay, you had a really good opportunity right here where you could have had the Psycho Sisters follow up on this episode on how they pretty much had dominated in that brawl, and just the way that that episode had went off and everything. It pretty much ended with the Psycho Sisters in the ring, and we don't dare bring that back up. We don't revisit that verbally. Yeah, I kind of felt that we missed a little something here and there as far as continuity goes, but all things considered, still a relatively solid episode. So, on that note, I'm going to say that is going to do it for this episode of WOW Women of Wrestling Reaction Edition, covering Lost episode number 26. Next week, we'll be talking about 27. Remember, we're here talking about WOW Women of Wrestling every Thursday night at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. So do join. You can participate in the chat. I'm interacting with you guys throughout. And yeah, if you've been able to check out these WOW Women of Wrestling episodes, sound off. Let me know. Love to hear from you guys. Yeah, all that good jazz, man. Hey, speaking of which, as far as all that good jazz, you made it up to this point. You enjoyed yourself. Do me a huge favor. Make sure, if you haven't already, you hit that like button. You hit that like button. You really help supercharge content like this, and it could be more discoverable depending on the outlet that you're on, whether you're checking this out via Twitter or Facebook or maybe on YouTube. Hitting that like, sharing, retweeting, it really helps supercharge the content so that it's more discoverable for other people to check out. So you like this, you like the talk of women's wrestling, you like WOW, definitely show this some love. Feel free to subscribe as well. Lets me know that you definitely want to see more content coming your way. So yeah, and I definitely show love to those that subscribe. By the way, shout out to those of you that's been subscribing the past couple of days. Appreciate it. Keep it up, man. I see we're almost about to break 12,000. I had wanted to get it before the end of the year, but we kind of it was a little bit slow there, maybe because of the holidays. I don't know, but hey, I see you guys. Appreciate you guys. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. And until next go round, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. Be well, my friends, and peace.